Coach Postell, first tell us about your experience going into the 1974 football season. You hadn't been long at Murphy High School, but how was it? Because this was a scene that had been dominated by Silva, Robbinsville, even Andrews was in there. But what was that? What was that season like?
Well, it's sort of hard to put things in perspective, but I knew going into the season that we had good athletes, and we had a couple of kids that were just absolutely outstanding on offense. And once we got into the season, playing that first game, why it just showed us that this was going to be a special team. And it turned out to be so, in that kids went on to win the state championship.
There were some standout people there. Some people with the nickname Yank, Queen, and of course, last name Brown. Can you tell us some people that just stood out in your mind?
Okay, Yank, that Kenny,
Right.
and he was one of our ends, but I think he was more important to us on defense. He would thump you.
Well, we understood that he practiced some dentistry in that Robertsonville game in the state championship game.
He did. He lost the tooth.
Or he knocked some teeth out of a player, right?
He did. And he said he came to the sideline and said, "Coach, I got even." So he's a tough kid.
Tell me also, this team you said to me was in some ways, very easy to coach, but you had to have a coach on the field. Who was, besides Bob Hendricks and Wayne Watson helping you coach this team, who is your player coach on the field?
We had a kid by the name of Johnny Queen, and he is running back on offense, linebacker on defense. And that kid, he took control of our defense. He called all the signals. Everything that we did, he did the calling. And he's just another coach out on the field.
At a certain point, do you remember going through game, conference, practices, and then all of a sudden the light turns on and says, hey, we've got a really good team, and we can not only just get in the playoffs, but we can go deep in the playoffs?
Well, I knew going into the season that we had some good athletes, and I knew that we'd have a good season. How far we went in the playoffs, I didn't know. But it turned out kids played together, and they complemented each other. And you get midway of the season, you know these kids are going to go somewhere. And of course, I had assistant coaches that did a great job.
Did you have any kind of traditions, any kind of rituals that got you through there? I mean, right now, when you walk down the hill, you pet the bulldog, and there are all kinds of things that go on. But at that time, no other state championship to this, playing the East and West, like this was the first of its kind for Murphy. So was this all just brand new, or did you also have a few little rituals to go through?
Coaching, it was brand new to me, yeah. But as far as rituals, I don't think so.
Let me ask this. It's been 50 years, but how do you think the 1974 state championship and the season and the players, how did this change, or how did this make a difference in the Murphy community?
We had great support from Murphy, from the fans, and even more importantly from our school, our principal, teachers. Excuse me.
Principal Thompson, I think, was
John Thompson. Yeah, he was a big supporter, and a lot of times we'd sit down and just talk football.
Any player, anything that just stands out? There has to be like a Willie Brown moment. There has to be, somebody that did one that looked like you had a good swing game that year. Even more so, you got to beat legendary Babe Howell. There were all kinds of little milestones there. Anything that just stands out?
Well, the only thing I can say about that is I enjoyed playing Babe Howell because you were going to get a good game from him every time, and I told my kids, I said, you beat Civil Webster, you can go far.
Looking at now, we advance up 50 years and 86, 87, state championship in the 90s, 2011. There's a string now. It's almost like a pearl necklace of state championships that Murphy's racked up. You think this team had anything to do with that? Just a little bit?
Well, I would hope so. But Coach Gentry and his staff, they do a good coaching job. And of course, Murphy hasn't changed any in that the athletes they get they're pretty darn good.
Right. All right. Well, Coach, thank you for your time, and we appreciate what you did and your team in 1974.
Well, I thank you for giving me your time, and I hope everyone will enjoy this.